Before you're able to let something go and move on with your life, you have to be done with it. And if you're still ruminating or carrying negative emotions like anger, sadness, or bitterness, or you haven't accepted or you're not ready to forgive, you are not done with it yet. One of the ways that our brain makes sense of the world around us is through chronological thinking. We understand that there's a beginning, a middle, and an end to things. That's why the concept of closure is so important. Closure means a sense of completion or resolve. It's the ending that we need before we can ever have a new beginning. So when we don't have closure, the past and the present are all jumbled together, and the concept of a clear vision of the future is not possible, because in our mind, what was still is. Hello everyone, my name is Tia and I'm a licensed psychotherapist. I make videos to offer tips to improve your relationship with yourself and with other people. So make sure that you like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification so you never miss more tips from a therapist. Today, I'm going to share with you how to finally get the closure that you need so you can move on with your life. The truth is, most relationships don't end with closure. Some are just more painful than others. When relationships end, it's not like you're leaving a job or a workplace. With a job, you give advance notice, there's a review of your performance, there's an expression of appreciation and gratitude for the time spent and contributions you made, and you get to say goodbye, and you know for sure whether or not you left on good terms. It's structured, mutually processed, and it's a chance to be more honest with less inhibitions. Personal relationships almost never end this way. They're messy. They've got rough edges. There's things unsaid, questions unanswered, and feelings that we're left holding on to. Without a mutually defined end, it is much harder for us to move on. Mentally, we try to deal with the distress of a lack of closure by ruminating and rehearsing it over and over again, hoping that if we could just understand it and why it happened this way, then we're able to move on. Better yet, maybe we can move on and make sure that we never get hurt that way ever again. But real understanding in relationship requires both perspectives in order to be accurate. And if they didn't stick around for closure, it's because they don't care to understand your side, or maybe you don't care to understand theirs. And feeling stuck in the past is the consequence. It's kind of like trying to start your day in a kitchen that's still dirty from the night before. The remains of yesterday weren't dealt with, and it's spilling over into today, and you can't just move on with your day like normal. Plus, the person that helped make the mess in the first place is long gone with no intention of helping you clean it up. But hey, maybe you don't think of this metaphorical mess as being that bad. A smudge on the counter may not bother you very much. You can live and work around it. Heck, you can't even see it if you just move the toaster over a little bit to cover it up. And wiping crumbs off the counter onto the floor just means you get to wear your slippers all the time, right? But then, when you start to date again, you realize you have company coming over, and you don't want them to see the mess that you haven't dealt with. This metaphorical messy kitchen isn't a hospitable place for people to be, and it's not a good reflection on you as a host. And if you've made a habit of allowing buildup rather than dealing with it, the mess will get exponentially worse. And coming to the place of creating our own closure is when you get to the point where you say, there's a mess here that I have to deal with if I'm going to move on with my life. I cannot live like this anymore. This is what we have to do in our relationships. We have to take it upon ourselves to clean up the mess. Just because they aren't around anymore to help you process and move on, that doesn't negate your need for it. Whether they don't have the emotional maturity to have that closure conversation, or they aren't humble and self-aware enough to be accountable, or they're no longer physically in your life, that doesn't mean that you have to suffer with this mess forever. Our brains can't tell the difference between what we vividly envision and reality. Anyone with anxiety, depression, or trauma understands this very well. But rather than rehearsing potential negative outcomes and fears, we can use that same method of imagination to envision a corrective emotional experience to attain the closure that we need. There is transformational power within emotions, and I'm here to help you explore, express, and transform those emotions to get you unstuck. This is a process that you can do within the therapeutic setting, or you can try it on your own first. I find it very helpful to write it out. Address a letter to this person that you never intend to send. a letter where you aren't concerned about their reaction and you're able to most freely express yourself. You don't need the other person's permission, understanding, or agreement to create your own closure. Write down everything you can think of in relation to the mess that they've left in your life. Everything that you wish you could have said or done, but you never got the chance to. Every emotion that thinking of them or this situation evokes in you. And for those of you that struggle with free writing, I have a free PDF of 16 writing prompts to help you thoroughly get through this process so you could be fully done with it. You can sign up with your email via the link in the description box below. Sometimes when we finally sit down to write things out, we realize there actually isn't a whole lot to say, but the emotional burden felt much heavier than it really was. Other times, the writing just pours out of us and we realize that we've been carrying much more than we thought we were. Either way, I encourage you to be as specific and detailed as you possibly can. Write until your wrist hurts, rest, and then write some more. Take your time and pour out everything you can mentally and emotionally. The more that you put into this exercise, the more you're going to get out of it. Then, when you've written everything that you can, you've got two options: save it or burn it. Saving it would only be beneficial if you feel like you need a tangible anchor to help you from continuing this rehearsing, ruminating cycle. Now, if you don't want to save it, I recommend that you safely burn it in a symbolic ritual of truly letting it go and moving on with your life. Burning it is a very sensory, satisfying process where you get to watch it burn and be destroyed, to feel the heat of a consuming fire, and to smell the smoke of something that once was coming to an end. One safe option is to burn it in your kitchen sink, since it's just been cleaned out, right? Did you find this video helpful? How did you find closure? Let us know in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.